Hi, my name is Matthew Belisario. Welcome to another edition of the Belisario Sonic YouTube channel. Thank you for everybody, for all your subscribers out there. Thank you for all the comments. I try to respond back to your questions, and I really enjoy the participation and interaction between all of you out there. So please leave comments or suggestions, or even if you don't agree with something I said. These videos are based on my personal experiences, and hopefully maybe you'll learn something that I experienced that you didn't know. And that's what I like about this whole vinyl community, is I can watch these different videos and learn a lot about the vinyl records, the different releases that are coming out, some of the different equipment out there, turntables, stereo systems, speakers. Anyways, I really enjoy doing this, and I appreciate everybody out there tuning in for the videos. Today is my own rhythm and blues vinyl tag. I come up with 14 questions. They're listed in the body below in the comment section, so you can pull those up. And so if you want to do your own version of my rhythm and blues vinyl tag, I would love to see those, because I'd love to see what albums you have in your collection. And as far as rhythm and blues, the first question that I have is what is your relationship with rhythm and blues? And what are some of your favorite artists? Well, I grew up in Cleveland in the 70s, and so on the radio, when my parents were in the car or at home, had the radio on, I heard all the classic Motown songs. I heard the Temptations, the Supremes, the Four Tops, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. I heard the Aretha Franklin and Otis Redding, all that kind of stuff I just heard being played. And so that's kind of my relationship with rhythm and blues, and where it began. It began as a kid, and those became my favorite artists as well. The second question is the first R&B records that I bought or acquired. Well, for me, I inherited my mom's small record collection, and so for me, the first ones that I ever heard, and the ones that I first acquired, were these Supremes records. So they're all original pressings at the Copa, A Go-Go, Where Did Our Love Go? And I remember as a kid, we had the big entertainment center, the big wooden entertainment center. You had the big TV in the middle. On the right-hand side, you had the record player. You'd stack your records, and they would drop down and play one after the other. And these were some of the records I heard as a kid that were played on that record player when I was a kid, on that turntable. So that's my first exposure to rhythm and blues on record. The third question is the newest R&B record in my collection. It's been probably about a year and a half or so since I bought a rhythm and blues record, I think. And probably one of the most recent ones that I bought is Charles Bradley Changes. I'm a big Daptone fan, as you can see from my shirt. And Charles Bradley, sadly, he's gone. But he's left behind a series of, I think, 4 or 5 albums that are just great records. If you're into James Brown, into that powerful soul sound, Charles actually, I think, was a James Brown impersonator for a while, and went around and did a lot of his songs. And it only started recording records in his last days, really. I think over the last 10 years of his life or so is when he actually came in and started recording his own music. And so this is a great record. It's a nice gatefold album. This version has the regular LP and then an additional LP that has instrumental versions of all the songs. So if you want to get a nice modern record that has that still classic soulful R&B sound, Charles Bradley, this is one of my favorite records of his. Okay, a favorite 60s album. This is an underrated singer, Mitty Collier. I believe this is a 1965 album, and her voice is absolutely astounding, very powerful. One of those late night R&B records that you can put on. This happens to be a Chess reissue. It's not an original, but sounds great. Great listening experience. I highly recommend this album here. A Motown album that I have, or the Motown album that's in my collection. I have several of them. I got Smokey Robinson. I've got Temps. I also have this one here, this Supremes Reflections album, Motown record. A modern recording or a modern album from a modern artist. This artist has been around for a long time, part of the Staples singers, Mavis Staples. This album came out in 2010. It's a great record. Great songs on it. One of them, the title track, You're Not Alone, written by Jeff Tweedy. Absolutely phenomenal. Her vocals sound pristine on this record. That powerful, gospel-tinged rhythm and blues. Great album. A record that I had the largest, a record from the artist that I have the largest collection of, it's probably Aretha. This is one of the records I really enjoy, an original pressing here of Lady Soul on Atlantic Records. Classic album. She's not called the Queen of Soul. You know, it's not a cliche. She deserves the title. And her discography is immense, but this is definitely one of my favorite albums of hers. Next is a favorite live record that I have. I don't have that many live records in the R&B category, but this is definitely one to get. Otis Redding live in Europe. You got the classic songs on here, Respect, Can't Turn You Loose, My Girl's on here, Satisfaction, Fa 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 Fa, Sad Song is on there, version of Day Tripper. So a pretty cool live record to get. A favorite female vocalist album. Again, it was hard for me not to pull up an Aretha Franklin album. This is another good one, Soul 69. Another original copy here. So another great album. A favorite male vocalist album. I can't recommend this particular artist and album enough. And one of my favorite singers. And this album here is one that I can never play enough, and one of my favorite late night records to play, where you pull out a glass of scotch and you drop the needle on this, and the phrasing in his vocals and the dynamics of his vocals on this album is, to me, astounding. If you want a lesson on how to sing the rhythm and blues, this is it. Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, Lost and I'm Looking, Mean Old World, Baby Please Don't Drive Me Away, I Lost Everything, Get Yourself Another Fool. That whole first side is just, to me, probably, I would say, the best single side of R&B for male vocalists ever recorded. And that's, you know, my opinion. I think it's that good. And then a great version of Shake, Rattle, and Roll on there, Little Red Rooster, Trouble Blues, You Gotta Move. To me, this is just a great album. This happens to be a music on vinyl edition, and it sounds really good. It's a great listening experience. If you have to get one Sam Cooke album, to me, this is the one to get. A favorite R&B album cover. This is a modern artist who I really dig, and just a powerful voice, Joss Stone. She can throw down with anybody. She can do the classic Motown stuff. Go check her out on YouTube. But even more than her being able to belt out, you know, an Aretha Franklin song, to belt out any of the Supreme stuff. I mean, she can belt out any of this stuff. Her voice is absolutely phenomenal. But she also writes her own music and has her own modern R&B sound. It's a little more polished than what I'm used to, but I really dig this album, and I like the album, the album cover. And it's a nice gatefold. It's not the easiest album to find, but if you like modern R&B and great female vocals, a very powerful, soulful voice, you really can't beat her. She's something else. You should definitely at least check her out. All right, a re-release or repressing that I have. I showed you the one Sam Cooke. This is another Sam Cooke repressing to get My Kind of Blues. Another music on vinyl. Great sounding album. Box set that I own. Third Man Records put out this a few years ago, the Supremes Rarities. This is a great box set. If you like the Motown stuff, of course, you know, everybody's heard Supreme songs. But what makes this unique is that these are all rarities. And what was really cool about Motown was Berry Gordy would hold these meetings, and he would have the great songwriters, the Motown songwriters come in, and they would write songs, and the different artists would record versions of them. So you'd have the Supremes record the song, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles record it, the Temps record it, and they would pick the best one, and that would be the one, after they voted on it, that would be the one that got released. But this has some pretty cool things on it, because you hear them singing songs like Cupid, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, I Can't Help Myself, and then you've got alternate vocal recordings of songs like Love Child and You Can't Hurry Love and Back in My Arms Again. So this is really well done. Third Man always does a pretty good job on their pressings, and this is a nice slipcase. If you're into the Supremes, they did a really good job on these album covers, these jackets. Great pictures. And so that's one of the R&B box sets that I have. Finally, the last question that I came up with, and I always try to include this on my vinyl tags, is Desert Island record. What is my Desert Island vinyl record that I would take on the Desert Island? And you probably guessed it. It's this Sam Cooke Night Beat. This would be my Desert Island R&B record that I would take with me, because again, I can't listen to this album. I never get tired of it, ever. So all right, thank you everybody for joining me on this Rhythm and Blues vinyl tag, and we'll see you on the next video, and hopefully you'll make a video. Look below for the questions, and you can check it out.